Hello.
Hello.
Okay, just making sure I can be heard. I'm not sure. Not seeing anybody in the chat yet, so I'll just wait a couple of minutes. See if I see anyone pop in. Hello. I don't know who I have in the bushes, but I'm just waiting a few minutes to see if I get any more people in. We're going to have a conversation today. It'll probably be interactive. So I'm just waiting a few minutes to see if I get people to come along. If not, I may go ahead and reschedule. Looks like I came on a few minutes behind Miss Carver, so a lot of people may be over there. Okay, we're 5 minutes in, and it looks like I have 2 people here. I may go ahead and reschedule, or I guess y'all can, whoever comes in later can catch a replay, or something on that note. But if you all see my title, it says narcissist or not. And the reason I chose that title is because we tend to throw that word around a little loosely these days. Even though we have people who exhibit a lot of narcissistic traits, it does not necessarily mean that person is a narcissist. Number one, a narcissist has to be clinically diagnosed before they can technically be called a narcissist. So this is the purpose of my title. Do I have anyone here? Okay. Well, today is Father's Day, number one. Actually, I really don't think about that holiday as much as I used to. I'm no longer in a marriage, nor am I'm fatherless. My father passed away last year. Hi, Lakin, how you doing? I was just letting everybody know my title. Whoever's here and whoever will look at the replay, narcissist or not is the name of my live, and the reason I named the live that is that the narcissist word is tossed around loosely as if everyone is a narcissist. And I was explaining that is something that has to be clinically diagnosed. It's not something that you can just label a person, even if they have narcissistic traits. So that is the reason I named this that. I'm going to turn this music off and go ahead and get started. I'm going to try to be fancy, y'all. I'm going to see if I can get this, if I can run my intro in smoothly. Let me see if I can do that here. Let me see who else is here. All right. Okay, looks like I did that thing there this time. All right. Okay, folks, today we're going to be talking about narcissist or not. I just recently found, actually I had been seeing it for a while, about something called a dark empath. And it was confirmation maybe about a week or two ago. I got a message in my messenger regarding a live that was being broadcast about a dark empath, which is very closely related to a narcissist, which confirmed to me that some of these people that we're walking around calling narcissists, they may not be a narcissist. A dark empath is very closely related to a narcissist. Um, I had a situation where I was trying to figure out how narc slayer. I had a situation where I was trying to figure out if a person I was dealing with was a true narcissist or something else, because something was off. I could see the narcissistic traits, but there was something a little different about it. Not knowing if this person was a true um, narcissist. And when I read up on a dark empath, boom, it seemed like I found out what I was dealing with, a dark empath. Now, let me let y'all know a dark empath, um, they just, psychologists just coined this term um, during a 2020 study on dark personality traits. Um, Once again, I said it's very closely related to a narcissist. They do, however, call dark empaths very dangerous, even more so than a narcissist. And the reason they call them more dangerous than a narcissist is because they have the ability, the same ability as I don't know whether to call it a regular empath. I'm just gonna say an empath, where they can put themselves in someone else's shoes. They can understand emotions, and they can listen to you just like an empath can. They can give you good advice. Um, and so you would think, okay, this person, they got to be empathetic because they were able to put themselves in my shoes and they understand me and they give me this real good advice and they seem so concerned and caring. However, the thing that a dark empath does is they use the ability that they have for empathy to exploit or to harm you. They flip it around and use it for their advantage. Because I noticed someone who I felt was narcissistic. Um, they could literally feel things. They could, the same way I can. And I'm like, wait a minute, is this person an empath? Or because I'm seeing a lot of narcissistic traits, so I'm not understanding, what's happening. Is this person really an empath? Hey, Maritza. And so I really haven't gotten into a lot of study about the dark empath yet. So you're going to probably hear a lot of pages flipping because I cannot freestyle off of this. I have to follow some notes on this one because Not very familiar with it yet. Um, Now, the thing that they say about these dark empaths is that, give me a second, I gotta flip through some papers here. The way you can tell, or let me give you I'm gonna read this, okay? It says, what is a dark empath? It says, dark empathy isn't an official diagnosable condition. Instead, it is considered a sign of a personality disorder. People consider dark empaths may display all three signs of the dark triad, which is a collection of dark empathy, um, or I'm sorry, which is a collection of personality traits. Now, narcissism is when a person has an inflated sense of self, they crave attention and admiration, and they feel superior to others. Now, the reason I got conflicted with this particular situation is because I saw some of those qualities, but the person just seemed like they cared. And most of my narcissistic experiences, the narcissist didn't care at all. Point blank, period. No concern, no empathy, none of that. But this person displayed it as well as those narcissistic traits. And so it was just kind of confusing to me. And now, let me give you a definition of a dark empath. It's a person who basically has the same cognitive knowledge of empathy, meaning that they understand what empathy is. They're not necessarily empathetic, but they understand what it is. They understand how to do it, how to display it. Okay. And it says they know how to relate to somebody. They know how to understand if someone's going through something or is feeling something, but they don't know how to follow through with any actions. Meaning they'll talk to you, they'll be display the same empathetic behaviors that you have, and you really feel like this person is really caring about you, but they're coming to you with not a complete understanding of empathy or from the heart. It's just from a surface level. So they know how to associate with you, but they are really not empathetic at all. Um, Now, a dark empath can be aggressive, extroverted, just like a narcissist. And the thing that confuses you is that they can also be agreeable. And I never had that experience with narcissists before. They were never agreeable. They never showed any sign of care or concern. So when that little thing popped up with the agreeability and the care, and you call on the phone, hey, how you doing? Is everything okay? Um, just showing signs that you really care. You really are a true person. Um, Mark says, wow, sounds like somebody she experienced. I did too. I experienced somebody like that, and it was very weird to me. I just couldn't put my finger on it until this wonderful live was sent to me concerning Dark Empath. And that's when I started reading on it. I don't know very much about it yet, but I'm learning, and I feel like it's a good reason to learn it. Being that we have a lot of people out here throwing around the word narcissist, and some of these people could actually be dark empaths. Um, Now, it says that dark empaths don't necessarily lack empathy. They just have a calculated way of experiencing empathy, which is expressed in a cognitive way versus emotional. And the thing, once they manipulate you with their so-called empathy. Uh, they will use it to manipulate, gaslight, bully, but they really don't care. But you get it all confused because you think they do, because you can feel some sort of empathy. So this dark empath is, like I said, it's a relatively new term. 3 years ago, psychologists decided to call a person a dark empath. And they really call it dangerous, a very dangerous personality trait to have. And you can understand why it's dangerous, because if you have a person who you think cares and they show the empathy, but they are not empathetic at all, that's dangerous, because you can become vulnerable to this person. You allow this person to really get into your life and to get to know you, not knowing that this person only has motives behind the reason they are with you. It's nothing real about it at all. Um, Now, there are some signs that you can look for to know if you're dealing with a dark empath. And I'm going to read this because I like the way it's written. It says, they act like Prince Charming in front of others, but are cold, disconnecting, and belittling behind closed doors. Now, let me explain why it's confusing, because that's exactly what a narcissist does. They can portray like they're this wonderful, friendly person to everyone else out here in this world, but at home it's like you're living in pure hell. It's literally Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So that may be one of the main reasons why it's so connected to narcissism, because they pretend to be this wonderful person, but they're not. They can make jokes at the expense of others. They are very sarcastic. They are malicious, and they put people in embarrassing or compromising positions. Um, they appear kind, but they are also direct, bullying, and they are mean. If you cross or disagree with them, they can be downright mean. They make every problem your fault. They use their charms to exploit and manipulate. I mean, they can have you feeling a certain way about a situation, or you can feel negatively about something, or even about them. You can confront this person with what you're feeling, and they will manipulate you to feel like that's not really what it is. And so you sit back and you say, "Oh, well, maybe I was overthinking them, or maybe that is not what it is." They can literally manipulate you with empathy, and once again, that's dangerous if you really think about it. Exactly, two-faced. Yes, two-faced. Um, they are proud, and they have a low tolerance for rejection and criticism. They get upset when others experience something positive. And when they see other positives, they figure out a way to um, degrade or downplay that person's achievements because they see something positive and they don't like it. They act like they like it, but they don't. Um, they love to gossip. They guilt trip or bully you to get what they want. Now, this is why, if some of you understand about the characteristics of narcissists, this is why it's so confusing, because a lot of these characteristics sound just like a narcissist with a slight twist or a slight difference. Hey, legend. Now, I'm still reading, okay? These traits might remind you of someone you know, but psychologist cautions about labeling someone as a dark empath. And it says that only a mental health professional can diagnose a person with that disorder. So once again, that's why I always say I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a counselor, I'm none of that. However, I'm working on getting myself certified in that area. But this is just from a lot of what I'm speaking is from personal experience, and also from what I've been studying about. Um, and let me see. I'm just going to hear some pages flipping, because like I said, this is something I am beginning to familiarize myself with, as I just found out about this dark empath thing. Um, Now, dark empathy is related to narcissism as a part of the dark triad. And I've said dark triad before. What the dark triad is a combination of narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. And for those who don't understand what those three things are, I want to read it to you. I don't want to give you my definition. My definition will be close, but I want to give you the exact um if I can find it. I got a lot of notes here, people. So we'll come back to that. I don't want to waste time looking for it, but it's a part of the dark triad. Triad. However, unlike narcissists who are traditionally known for being very low in empathy, dark empaths have a high ability to cognitively empathize for their own personal gain. For their own gain. It's not because they care. It's not because they're concerned. They show empathy so they can figure out how to manipulate, use, or exploit you. You may at one point feel like, this person is a real good friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, sister, brother, mother, or whoever this person is. And they can be one way in 1 second and the total opposite in the next. And you will have no idea what happened. Did I do something to this person? Pick up the phone, call them, or you see him on the street the next day and you talk to him. Hey, how you doing? Like nothing ever happened. So it leaves you questioning yourself, which is gaslighting. And you have no idea you're being gaslighted. You actually think it's something happening within you, but it's really this person who is gaslighting you, which is narcissism. And now we're finding out it's also a part of this dark empath. And it says that they are hard to spot because they use the manipulation, the bullying, sarcasm, guilt, and gaslighting, which is what I just said. They're hard to spot. Okay. And it says that the term dark empath is relatively new. It's used to describe someone with dark traits similar to a narcissist, which refers to people with a grandiose sense of self who often dismisses others' feelings. The difference between the narcissist and the dark empath is that the dark empath has the capacity to understand the emotions of others, which is what the narcissists lack. Hi, Blessings. How you doing? Thank you for joining. I'm sorry, I see some comments here. I haven't been looking at my screen. Let me go to the comments real quick. Everybody was speaking, and then Blessings. I hate when a narcissist says, I'm not a jealous person. Yes, you are in different types of ways. One way in 1 second, then acting funny the next. Yes, ma'am. Yep. And I'm very aware of gaslighting people. Yep, Blessings, the jealousy is on levels that are impossible to be jealous about. Okay. Yes. Now I'm just discovering this. Like I said, I ran across a person and I knew this person couldn't be a narcissist because there was emotion shown. And the emotion that was shown felt real. And in my head, I'm like, well, wait a minute, that's not a narcissist. What is this? Then I ran across this dark empath thing. And I'm learning about it. I think it's something worth learning so that you can differentiate the two because it's very confusing. Very confusing. Okay, now let me get back over here. All right, now, how can they hurt you? While it's commonly understood that narcissists and psychopaths lack emotional aptitude, thus making them relatively identifiable, spotting the dark empath is trickier. This is because, to the untrained receiver, dark empaths appear as compassionate empaths. As such, dark empaths can facilitate moments of vulnerability for the other person, creating an advantage that they can later use for their benefit. For this reason, some psychologists warn that dark empaths are more harmful than other dark triad personalities. Can you understand the connection? I understood immediately. It is very harmful when you feel like a person cares and you become vulnerable to this person only to find out they don't. At least with a narcissist, you can tell they don't care. But with these people, you have no clue because they put on an appearance and they put on an act as if they care because they can identify with emotions, but they're really emotionless inside. They understand the concept of emotion, but they don't have real, true emotions. And yes, um, jealousy is a spirit of confusion. Yes, it is. Jealousy is a spirit of confusion. Yes. Preach. Thank you. This is just something I ran across and I felt like, because I talk about narcissism a lot, but when I ran across that, it was just weird to me. I didn't know what it was at all. Now, this thing also says, while you might think it's easy to spot a manipulative person, dark empaths are highly skilled at making people feel emotionally safe to be vulnerable with them because dark empaths' toxic behavior is covert. They hide it. They hide it from you. You have no idea that this person really does not care. So you find yourself divulging a lot of information to these people, and they can literally, at whatever point, use it against you. You know. Um, Now let me get to this thing here. It's another section about signs to know someone or someone is a dark empath. Number one, everything works out magically in their favor. Now, what I get from that is when it says magically, everything works out magically in their favor. I think that's a form of manipulation. Every time you talk to them, if something bad is going on or something is happening that's, not positive or, can harm you in some type of way, it always turns out in their favor. It's never anything disappointing to happen in their life. That's what I get from it. Now I'm going to read what they say. It say dark empaths are highly manipulative. They use their insights and data they've collected on you and others to orchestrate things in their favor. That is true manipulation right there. True manipulation. It's almost like triangulation, the triangulation that narcissists use. Um, they gather information from every person, but yet they keep every person separated. So things just seem like everything is cool with them. And I don't know um, about everyone else, but I know the narcissists I have dealt with, they tend to say a lot that they're blessed and highly favored. At least that's what I've heard. It says that they repress their mental health problems. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, that just gave me a flashback. They repress their mental health problems, meaning that they do not acknowledge the fact that they have mental health issues. Mm-mm-mm-mm. It says, in addition to being highly aware of emotional complexities, dark empaths are also highly self aware. For this reason, those with this personality type tend to understand but repress mental health issues like anxiety, depression, low self esteem, and low self worth. If someone you know appears confident and charming, but seems like they could snap if things don't go their way, this is a sign of dark empathy. Now, I know some of this stuff I'm reading can sound familiar, because if this sounds familiar to you, I'm pretty sure some of you have had the same um, feeling. Um, just going through these comments real quick. Don't want to get too far behind. The devil comes in many shapes, sizes, and forms, and that's true. That's another thing. Well, most of us do realize that this narcissism and all of these, that's why they call it dark triad, dark, evil, is of the devil. Uh, Sometimes we forget, or sometimes I don't forget, but sometimes I kind of, I'm so busy reading the technical or the psychological side of it that I sometimes don't equate it with that, which I know it is, you know. Um, Somebody speaking to blessings. Have a great day. I gotta on down the road. Stay blessed and listen for the car. Thank you, blessings. Speaking of Maritza. And let us say, goodness gracious. Exactly. Goodness gracious. Okay, let's read another one. It says they're sarcastic and they have dark humor. Now, it says the definition of sarcasm is the use of irony to mock or convey contempt. Dark empaths often disguise their contempt or ridicule with sarcasm or dark humor. To the untrained eye, it may seem harmless, but their snarky humor and biting sarcasm is the deceptive tool they use to bully, belittle, and shame you. Mm. They weaponize your feelings. This is what makes a dark empath dark. Rather than exercise emotional or compassionate empathy, dark empaths employ cognitive empathy. By doing this, they're able to maintain emotional distance so they can position and prepare themselves to react and use your emotions against you. Now, that's the dangerous part. That's the scary part. Because, like I said, they're sitting back, they're, you know, making you feel comfortable and becoming vulnerable, and they take it and use it against you. And that is narcissism as well. Um, if someone has ever left you feeling played or shamed after sharing something with them, you've probably encountered a dark empath. They guilt trip you. Dark empaths are typically less overtly aggressive than the dark triad personality types. Um, okay. That means that they don't show a lot of aggression. Now I'm confused. I'm sorry, I hesitated because the person that I'm thinking of could be very aggressive, but that's neither here nor there. Um, Dark empaths take the lead when it comes to indirect aggression, though. Through manipulation tactics. Guilt tripping is one tactic that dark empaths employ to get their way. Essentially, if a dark empath's strategic orchestration to put their needs first have failed, or if they're challenged, they'll make sure you feel bad about it. They are outwardly charming and agreeable. This is likely why most people are unfamiliar with dark empaths or know how to spot one. Essentially, dark empaths are masters of disguise. They appear incredibly social, charming, and agreeable to the unsuspecting person. On the inside, though, a dark empath maintains an antagonistic core. Um, this this is something else. This might sound crazy, but are they humans at this point? Or are they real demons? Or is a real demon spirit in them? Legend, I struggle with that. Um, and the only reason I struggle with it is because you don't want to believe that there are so many people out here who have demons dwelling in them or demons pulling at them. But I cannot help but relate these type of personalities demonically because it's demonic. It's definitely not godly. Um, but when you deal with these person one on one and face to face, this manipulation that they have, it can confuse you. And it'll have you wondering, is this I mean, maybe they just need some help. Maybe if they just went to go see a psychologist, things will get better. I know they have to be good on the inside. But from what I've experienced, none of them are good. But you hate to say no. You hate to say, no, this person is not good. But they're not. So I kind of struggle with that. I don't like to label, but it just is what it is. Marissa says, wow, real demon spirit, legend in my opinion. I agree. Mentally ill demon in my opinion. Yes, if I'm not mistaken, I think I heard Lakin on another live one night. And she was correct when she said that mental illness is associated with demonic spirits. Um, and I'm going to use my situation, for example, or the situation I'm going through with my daughter. A lot of things, she has been diagnosed with mental health disorder. And the things she does can be very, very, very demonic. She's um, look up what a narcissist is. She shows a lot of those traits, and even some of these traits. That's where I'm gonna leave it. And when you deal with that thing personally, one on one, you can feel that demonic spirit. You feel it, and sometimes you see it. So, yes, I do believe it's a mentally ill demon. Um, Now, it says that they are manipulative. Um, Dark empaths are emotionally intuitive, and their extroversion makes them extraordinarily good with people. This gives them the perfect ability to utilize their manipulative tactics however they see fit. And yes, I'm relating it to narcissism because I don't know if I've dealt with I think I've dealt with a real dark empath, but I know I've dealt with narcissists. And I do know that they uh appear to be good and they are very good with people. I mean, very good. It makes you angry sometimes to see how people can relate to them when you know what this person really is. That's how good they are with you. They can hide it very well, you know. Common manipulation tactics, uh, gossiping. Hold on, I see somebody backstage. All right, I just added you. Give me 1 second. Let me finish reading this off, and then you can have the floor for a minute, okay, Lakin? Thank you for joining. It says common manipulation tactics that they use is gossiping, which means that they negatively, all of us gossip, but these people negatively talk about someone behind their back. All of us do it. If somebody say they don't talk about a person, they're telling a whole lie because everybody talks about everybody. I just don't agree with when you talking maliciously about people. Sarcasm, conveying contempt through irony, love bombing. They love bomb. This is why it's so confusing. They do the same things as narcissists. They give you excessive attention and affection. Um, and then they will ghost. You say no or say something this person doesn't want to hear or do something this person doesn't want you to do or whatever, they will ghost you. They will end the relationship without notice or explanation. And we already said that they gaslight, which is making somebody question their sanity. And they 1000% play the victim. They play the victim. And this right here, like I said, it is so similar to narcissists. That's why it's hard to tell. The only difference, the only thing that can help you understand is that these people show emotion when the narcissist doesn't. Now there are a few more, but I'm gonna give Lakin a few minutes to talk. Let me read these couple of comments. Marissa said I've seen a couple on this app. Thank God he gives me that feeling just to stay away because they definitely will be triggered. Legend is agreeing with Narc Slayer. And
Uh,
Rita, yes, this app can be a breeding ground for them. Stay woke. Yes, ma'am. This app is a breeding ground and it's a safe haven for all dark personality types because they can hide behind the
mhm,
camera. You never have to meet this person one on one so they can act with you all the time. Now I'm gonna be quiet
yeah.
because Lakin came up here for a reason and we want to hear what she got to say. You ready, Lakin?
Yes, yes, I'm ready, Erica. Hey
Now I
y'all.
can't hear you. Can you
You
all
can hear
hear
me
Lakin?
now.
Let me know.
You can hear me now. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I know why I can't hear you. I got my thing on mute. Go ahead, talk. I'm sorry.
You can hear me now.
Yes, I can.
Okay. Hey y'all. Uh, my situation, it wasn't with an adult. It was with m- my second to the oldest son. Uh, that's me. That's me. Wait, let me see. Oh, that's you, Erica, because I hear saying the same thing over and over. Uh, but anyway, my second to the oldest son, when he was uh 13, he started having behavioral problems. So I went through that. I went through that with him and stuff like that, and he had to end up being hospitalized. And this was like his second hospitalization. And one one day, like around
I'm sorry.
noon.
Can you hold on for 1 minute? I'm having
Okay,
a hard time hearing you. Can you let
okay.
can go ahead and talk and let me know if y'all hear an echo, if y'all hear a playback. Go ahead and say something, Lakin.
Hey y'all. I don't
Do
hear it
y'all-
now.
You hear a
Wait, I
playback?
heard a little something. I heard a little something.
Okay, well let me turn it back down. I want to hear what you're saying. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, around noontime, uh the nurse called from the hospital and she told me that my son's doctor wanted to schedule a phone meeting with me for that afternoon and would I be available. So I was like, okay, sure, yeah, I'll be available. If I wasn't available, I was gonna make myself available, right? So we ended up he ended up calling me, right? He's an African doctor. And he ended up calling me and he asked me like a little bit about religion and stuff like that, and things of that nature and stuff. And he told me, he said that my son's problem was, now this is a psychiatrist. He told me, he said, my son's problem wasn't coming from a scientific point, and he didn't need medicine. And he told me he needed God. He said it wasn't scientific, that it was a demon uh, that my son was struggling with. So I asked him, I said, and I felt it. I had, the things that he was doing, I kind of, I felt it. So, but you don't want to think something like that about your relative, and then that's my child. So, uh, like, I recognized little things that he was doing, like, uh, I'll be laying like on a sofa or something, and I can feel him sitting there watching me and stuff like that. So, wait, chocolate, turn it down. So, he told me, he said, for me to pray for him, and that was the only thing that, you know, that he couldn't help him. That we needed to go to God, and that's what I did. When he got home, actually, this African doctor, he actually put a clinic here. He actually put a clinic where I stay at. One reason was for my son, because he didn't just like, hey, I can't help him. Y'all go ahead about your business. He wanted to follow up. And when my son came home, I did just that. I hit them knees. I hit them knees, and I cannot tell y'all how much I prayed, prayed, and prayed and prayed, and asked God to remove that spirit from out of my son. And what the spirit was doing, it was coming at him in the form of my late uncle. Now my son never seen my uncle. So when the doctor told me, "Do
Mm,
you have
mm,
an
mm.
Uncle Curl?" And I said, "What?" He said, "Do you have an Uncle Curl?" I say, "Yeah, I have Uncle Curl, one of my favorite uncles." He said, "That's what it's coming as your uncle." And it's I said, "Well, what it's doing?" He says, "Telling him to off y'all, off his whole family." I'm like, wait a minute now. He's like, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah." And he said, "That child is
Mm.
struggling." And I'm like, "Well, Lord," I'm like, "Hey." He was like, "Yeah, you gotta pray for him." And that's, like I said, y'all, that's what I did. I prayed, I prayed, I prayed, I prayed. And he was
Mhm.
no, he ain't had no more episodes for five, like 5 or 6 years. When he made, I think, like, he was like 18 or 19, that's when he started having more episodes. He started having episodes again, and I prayed again, I prayed again, I prayed again. But you can tell when it's not them. You can tell, when it's not them. Uh, and you can tell if they struggling with it, but that's why most of them are associated with demons and stuff. Just like the person from The Exorcist, that was an 8-year-old little boy. It wasn't a little girl. It was an 8-year old little boy that happened to. And when his aunt passed, that's when he started acting out. and stuff. And come to find out, his aunt was doing things to him that she shouldn't have been. And when she passed, it came out. Y'all can hear me?
I can hear you. Can
Oh,
everybody else hear you?
oh, okay, okay. But you can tell. So like I couldn't have like certain things in the house. I couldn't have like knives or medicines. Uh, I had counselors coming to my house. Like, oof, Lord, I lived like that for forever. Seemed like forever, So, but I did any and everything to help my child.
Hmm.
I did any and everything to help him. I mean, I went anything that they offered, I was there for him and stuff like that. But yeah, they tell them to do things, and like the doctor told me, it was coming as my uncle. Now, my uncle, that's a whole different subject, so I'm not gonna go there. Um, because my auntie, his wife, was into something different. So I don't know if it was on my uncle, which it probably was. So maybe I don't know, but it was coming to him as my uncle. He never met my uncle, never met him. So when he said that and told me the name, and I never talked about my uncle uh, to my kids because I was mad at my uncle. So I never had talked to him or any of my kids about him. So when he said that, I knew that doctor was telling me the truth. It was the African doctor. It was the African doctor. But you can tell when they switch out. You can tell. Now some of them you can't tell. Some people you cannot tell when they switch, but some you can, some you cannot. It's like night and day.
I'm sorry, y'all. Can y'all hear me? Legend just joined. Hello, Legend.
Hello, Nitty-Gritty. Hello, Lacking. How are y'all today?
I'm okay, legend.
That's good. That's good. I'm just up here, just listening. I just wanted to listen. That's all. I,
Oh, okay.
I'm
But
listening to y'all.
yeah, that's what I did, Ginger. I mean, you can see it. You can actually see when it came out and stuff. You can actually see it. But like I said, you can just tell. I can tell when he's not himself. And he'll switch up because what he did one day, he actually came at me. I was talking to him. It was something he did, and I was fussing at him. And I seen when he changed. I saw when he changed, and I was by his room door, and he was closing the door in my face. I don't know what the demon told him to do at that moment, but I kicked that door clean in half. And I went in that room and I ate his tail up like he never been ate up before. So guess what? That demon left his tail by himself that day because I wore him out up in that room. I wore him out. And like I said, he didn't do nothing for years. Didn't do nothing for years, Laura. And now he uh he don't want to go nowhere. Uh he don't want to come out the house. They want me to I forgot what they call it when they go in and they physically remove them and make them get help. They want me to call a coroner and have him removed. And I told him, I said, but he's not. doing nothing towards himself. He just don't want to come out the house. Like the world is, I'm gonna tell y'all like this. He see stuff in people that we don't see. So he do not want to come out and deal with the world. So that's what I'm going through with him now. He's 28. He's 28. And that's what I'm going through with him. He haven't been out the house, oh Lord, since 2019. Yeah, it's been
Oh,
since
so he
two,
stay in the house. He what does he have that thing called uh I forgot what you call it, but they have a fear of going outside.
uh
So basically, ever since COVID came out, huh?
yeah, he was diagnosed with bipolar. He bipolar, manic depressive, bipolar something. It's like he have like three or four disorders. Basically what they wanted to do, they want they asked me they asked me and they so messy on here, but they basically want to study my bloodline because uh most of the illnesses at least one of my family members have. So they wanted to do a study on our bloodline. And I refused. I refused. But like my kids, they cannot mate with like just anybody. They cannot mate with just anybody. And I'm like, woof, Lord. But it was hard for a long time with that. So I recognize a lot of different things. That's why I just say that I don't be meaning no harm. I just recognize a lot of things in people on this app because I've lived it, I've dealt with it, I've seen it, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person. I can sit back and just watch. I can feel the person's energy because if you sit back and you watch a person, whatever's in them is gonna display themselves. It's gonna display. Whether they try to hide it at 12 o'clock in the noon, 8 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the AM, I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna recognize it. And I just be like, hey Lord. But something is coming for this app, my babies.
Oh
Y'all,
yeah, it's going
something
to
is
eventually
coming.
come out. You'll see.
It's coming. It's coming. And it is
Mhm.
not going to be nothing nice. It's not going to be nothing nice. That's why I just been trying to stay off of here because everybody feel it. Get that soda for a bus in the freezer.
Yes, it's definitely something
And
happening here
before that,
with this
before that,
thing
he
here.
didn't come out the house. Before
It's
that, huh? Lakin, have you ever anointed your house in his room? Yeah, Erica. I mean Ginger. Yeah, yeah, Ginger. I did all of that. Oh, it was. I did all of that, Ginger. But you gotta be careful with the people. I did it. They had like uh priests. I'm not Catholic, but they had priests and stuff wanted to do it. I was like, oh no, no. But I
yeah,
think
that can be kind of scary if somebody tell you they want to do it. But I agree with Ginger C. As far as generational curse, that's real. Generational curse is all real. Somebody told me a long time ago how those generational curses can come, into play. Um,
Right.
it's real. It's a real thing.
It
Um,
is. It is.
but yes, this app is full of people who they're fake. They're hiding behind these keyboards, and they are not good people. I mean, we have some good people out here. Don't get me wrong, but you have to have an eye of discernment. I did have a bad experience, but that's over and done with. I have just learned to not ignore my instincts, my discernment. I have learned to let my discernment uh, overpower my feelings, my heart. Let my mind lead me and not my heart. Um, but yes, that's true, and I do agree. Getting back to the reason why you popped up here, that mental health thing, I do believe it's demonic. And my daughter also too is diagnosed as bipolar, and she exhibits a lot of these uh, signs or symptoms or whatever you want to call it that I'm reading on this paper here. Um, so I do understand. Um, I'm gonna get back to this list unless you got something else you want to say right now. You want to say something else right now?
No, you can go ahead. You can go ahead.
Legend, you got anything you want to say? You got anything you want to add or?
Oh no, I just want to listen to you. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, the last thing we stopped at was the manipulation, how manipulative these people are. Um, I hope y'all can hear a backplay because it just seemed like y'all. Can y'all hear a backplay from me? When somebody else talking, you hear it? Is it playing back or no?
Well, when you talking, I put you on mute, but it's no backplay now.
No, I was on mute. I didn't hear nothing.
Oh, okay, good. All right. So then it goes to the they're vindictive. It says dark empaths can be vindictive if they don't get their way or their wants and needs do not come first. And I'm not going to get into that, but I had a personal experience with that. Stemming from their feelings of low self worth and self esteem, those with this personality type will use gossip, intimidation, and guilt to seek revenge if they have been slighted. If someone you know has ever expressed interest or behavior in getting back at someone for something, that's a clear indication of dark empathy. And like I said, I'm not gonna get into details, but that's something I experienced directly experienced. They keep themselves emotionally unavailable to others, as empathetic as they appear. Their own lack of emotional vulnerability usually goes unnoticed. For dark empaths, becoming vulnerable means relinquishing control, a fact that they rely on for survival. Therefore, they armor themselves with distance and social charm to ensure their status and safety, rendering them fairly unavailable to others. If someone you know exhibits these behavior and they never truly open up about themselves, they could be a dark empath. And number 10, they have a big ego, but they also need constant validation. The extroverted and friendly nature of most dark empaths almost makes them seem overconfident. They never seem to shy away from certain situations and confront things head on, yet secretly, because of their experiences, upbringing, and viewpoints, they have low self esteem. One telltale sign of dark empathy is the constant need for validation and approval from others. And those are 10 ways. I just read 10 ways that you can uh, know if somebody you're dealing with is a dark empath. And once again, like I said, these people, if you know about narcissism, the first thing you'll think is that person is narcissistic until you realize this person shows emotion. They literally show it. And it tricks you because we learned that narcissists do not show emotion. And I believe half of the people walking around with a lot of these narcissistic behaviors, I believe most of them either they have been diagnosed with a mental issue or they haven't been diagnosed, but something is just not right mentally with these people.
In our community, Erica, uh, people don't like to go to the doctor for their mental health. They won't do it. In our community, it's hard for them to accept, hey, something is wrong. They're not going to really accept. A lot of them is not going to accept it because the first thing like some people will be like, "Oh, she crazy." So some people they don't they won't acknowledge that something is wrong. But and then sometimes mental illness come out at certain ages too. It don't. Some of them don't come out uh like right then. It'll stay hidden for years, and like a certain thing will happen, and some of them will come out and stuff. Uh, it'll come out just like my daughter's husband. I told her, I said, he's schizophrenic. She got mad at me, y'all. She got mad. It's not funny, but she got mad. I guess the way I came off, and come to find out he's schizophrenic. And she was like, how you knew it? So I can tell. I can
Yeah, you
tell.
could tell something is off. I could, for my daughter, I could see something was not right. Her entire childhood, I could see something was off. She didn't get diagnosed until she was a young adult. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, a lot of people, and more people are becoming more receptive to going to some type of counseling or help. Um, but it has been a stigma in this community for a long time. Just
Yes,
want to get
yes.
people
Well,
don't.
And it's unfortunate because like where I stay, it's it's real hard for you to get help. You can tell the doctors certain things. It's like almost here they don't want to. They have to do something. And I asked the doctor one time. I said, "What you waiting for him to do something for you to believe me? You waiting for him to do something to his family or something, to anybody, for y'all to? I'm telling y'all that something is wrong. Something is off. You know. So what they was thinking, like if you get like Medicaid or something like that, they believe that they're not going to, certain doctors won't tell you certain things. You know why? Because they feel you can't pay for it. So their dad was a over the road truck driver, and he had good insurance and stuff. So uh he came down and he was like, "Look, whatever my son need, hey, I got him." That's when they wanted to see him, and it was the treatments was more extensive. It wasn't just an in and out thing no more and stuff like that. So um it is what it is though. But I it's a lot of people that's going undiagnosed. A lot of homeless people uh have mental issues. A lot of
Yes, they
people.
do. They do have mental issues. Um, and every homeless person is not an addict.
No,
Everybody
some of
thinks
them
that.
have mental issues. And I said that a while back, and somebody was like, "That's not the truth." I'm like, "What? Are you serious?" some schizophrenic people, they'll just leave walking and don't remember where they come from. They just, some of them are just walk and just go. Like they have this young lady here, this girl just walk, walk, walk. And I asked her one day, I said, do you know where you live at? And she told me no. And she asked for money and stuff like that, and she had a situation going on, and that's what made me approach her, because she had a situation, a female situation going on, and people were scared to like approach her and stuff like that. So we gave her something to wrap around her waist, and I gave her the money, and she left walking and stuff. And somebody came over to me, and it was like, her family is such a people, like they names is such. So I went over there, and they told me that they did everything. She had 4 kids. One day she just got up and she just start walking. Um, they was like, well, she don't have to live like that. And I said, I understand. I totally understand what y'all saying. But I was just hoping that she would go home and take a shower and take care of her situation, what she had going on. But this girl is schizophrenic, and that's why she's. Well, one time I saw her, and she was walking almost 2 cities away, and we could not get her in the car to bring her back home. And the law enforcement, they not trained for that. That's why some people end up getting unalive, because law enforcement is not trained. If you don't know what to tell them when they're dealing, like if somebody's having an episode, you better include that on the call. And I see so many times when people make a phone call with their loved ones that has a issue, a episode, mental issue going on, they just call and say, "Hey, he doing this, that, or the other." You have to include, "Hey, my person has a mental issue," because when they come out and you just tell them he got a knife in his hand, they gonna handle just that knife being in that person's hand. You
Oh
have
yeah,
to
yeah.
include that in their call. That it's
Hmm.
mental. That way they're gonna come with an ambulance. They're gonna
Yeah.
assist the EMTs or whatever, but they will not come aggressively towards that person. And I don't know, I think they just need to get training on that, because a lot of people's getting harmed,
Yes.
and
Kill.
it's mental.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, y'all, did anybody have any questions? I'm gonna have to cut this short. I gotta get to cooking. I figured this would be a long live because it's a very interesting, informative topic. Um, and we can come back and talk about it in more detail when I get a little more understanding. But I really wanted people to see that there is a possible gang of dog empaths we dealing with in this lifetime, and everybody is not a narcissist. Um, People need to learn how to not loosely use that term. Um, because, like I said before, if they are not clinically diagnosed,
Hmm.
you can't really label them. You can say that they have the traits, but you can't label a person narcissist. They have to be um, clinically diagnosed and everything. Did anybody have any questions or anything they wanted to say? I appreciate everybody for joining today. I know it's been a while since I've been live, and when I come, I like to come with something you can learn from, and discuss real life situations. One day we can come and we can discuss this Well, no, I take that back. I don't really care for. I don't want to say I don't care for it. I like to kind of know what I'm talking about. This mental health thing, that's serious. You want to make sure you really know what you're um, talking about this mental health. And we can talk about it because we have a direct experience with it. Uh, but sometimes people look for um, advice and all of that stuff concerning people with mental health problems. And you got to be careful when you're giving people advice because you give somebody with a mental issue the wrong advice and it could
Mhm.
hurt other people. So you got to be careful when it comes to stuff like that, you know. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on the panel today. You always come with some interesting information and you are very frank, open, and honest about everything you talk about. This I appreciate that about you. And I want you to know that I understand why you stay to yourself so much. Um, just from the things you talk about that you experience and some of the things that you know. I stay to myself a lot too. I just recently started being more social. Um,
Right.
but don't feel like people think you all or you different because a lot of people look at us differently when we really don't associate with most people. And sometimes when we talk about the things that we talk about, they will call us names,
Yeah.
you know, but
Mhm.
you are understood by a lot more people than you think. Um, yes, Maritza, I just decided I'm going to end this live because I am behind on cooking. Um, but I would love to continue. I mean, I could continue, but you might hear a lot of noise in the background. I don't know if you want to hear that. Me throwing around pots and pans and stuff sizzling in the background.
Girl, I ain't got nothing to do. You could cook, sleep, cause I'ma be in here.
hmm
Uh,
But I'm glad that I have given some information that you all have received. Um, like I said, I try to always come with something that's going to be helpful in our lives. A lot of this stuff on this YouTube is just nonsense, bickering back and forth and stuff that's not going to do nothing to help us have a better quality and a more peaceful life. And I'm telling you, when you go through that toxic stuff, um, you just do not want to be dealing with a whole lot of negativity, anything that's going to pull at your spirit in a negative way. You just don't want it. And I try my best to try to find a lot of positivity when I look
yeah.
to these different channels. Yes, Maritza, I see. You're right. I mean, I'm sorry. Ginger C, you are correct. My dinner should be finished. I did at least boil my eggs, though. I boiled my eggs a long time ago. I have them sitting in the ice bath. So I'm starting to at least peel my eggs for the deviled eggs. And I did, put my baked chicken in the oven. So now all I have to do is go ahead and get my pan ready. I'm going to fry some chicken wings and I'm going to just do some old simple sides. I'm not going to do it from scratch today. I don't feel like chefing today. Um, so dinner will be ready at least by 5:30. That's not too late, considering how sometimes dinner's not ready till 7:30, 8 o'clock. I think I did a good job today. Yes, but y'all, we got to come together. We got to try to do more, positive things. We got to try to come live more. Um, Now Ginger C is always putting positive things on her channel. She doesn't come live, but it's on her channel. If you go over there, you're going to see a lot of positivity,
Yeah, I'm subscribed to Ginger.
up to uplift all day long. And Maritza is coming on and she's speaking positively and she's also putting a lot of positive things on her page. And um Lakin, you are positive too. I don't hear you coming with a lot of negativity, but I just love your stories. I sit over there and just listen to the things you talk about. They sound like I'm hearing a story. And Narc is she's still very new over here, but everything I've heard has been uh positive. She went through a little trial herself, but she came out on top and she talks about a lot of positivity mixed in with this narcissism. And I don't know, we just need to try to flood this. I'm not even going to say the sector, but keep on doing what we're doing. You know, there's people out here who need real uh, knowledge and understanding and coping with real life situations and all of this bickering back and forth. Yeah,
Yeah.
drama, but it's just not all. It's not, you know. I think everybody in here is sub to everybody, but if not,
I
y'all
think
can.
that's what the Erica, that's what the devil want them to do.
Oh
They
yeah, I
want
know.
they want the bickering. They want he want the fighting. He want the
That's
bickering.
right.
Uh, you know, uh, and they doing just what he want them to do.
That's right.
They
But
doing
they
just
don't
they
realize. But
pleasing
some
him.
of them,
He's so pleased, and I'm like the children. I just be sitting here just tears just because I love kids. I love kids, and to hear what I hear about the kid, how could wow? I just be like, whoa, Lord, 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 Lord.
yeah, it's bad. You know, some of it, a lot of
Please.
people are actually, and it was no hard feeling towards the content creators. Some of it I just had to, you know, separate myself from for my mentality. Not
Yeah,
because I'm anything against anyone. I just had to do what I had to do for me. You know, it's just not good. I mean, I'm already going through enough personally in life, and to
right,
have like
right.
that pulling on you is just not healthy at all.
It's not. It's
You
not.
know,
It's not. And I'll be like, oh, look, I'm about to delete my channel. They be like, why? Why? I'm like, look, y'all wouldn't understand. Look, I don't have time for that. I don't, I don't have time for this because I do recognize when he comes for me. You know what I'm saying? I do reckon I've been going through this all my
your
life.
life. Hmm.
All I've been going through this and I asked somebody that goes to church often, you can have it. I asked him, I said, why things always
Hold
happen
on a
to
minute,
me? I'm
Lakin.
like, is it
Ginger
me?
C. Hold on a minute, Lakin. I'm sorry. Narc said, can you drop your link? Y'all can drop links in here. I don't mind. Go ahead. You say you
I'm
asked him.
like, is it me? And the lady was like, she said, well, no. She said he gon' come at you. He's gonna keep coming at you because you know he know that you recognize things and stuff like that, and that's why he keeps coming for you. And my kid, he
Mm-hmm.
come at me through my kids, because everybody love their kids. I know I love mine. You know what I'm
That's right.
saying? And that's how the devil was coming at me through my kids. You know, my kids were my everything. So that's how he comes at me and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot on here and stuff. And
It is, and a whole lot of the new people, because I don't know how long you've been over here, Lakin, but I've been over here since before I was over here when there really wasn't nobody over here but Treese. Um, then
now
next,
I will watch her, but I didn't know that they had these like this part the chat and stuff. I remember she would go live and stuff, and I would watch her on here, but I would never type in her chat on here. I would play the struggle game.
oh yeah, you've been around for a while. Yep, you've been here for a
Yeah,
minute.
I will play the
Mhm.
struggle game and stuff like that, but I never was really active in the chats and stuff because I seen a lot.
And
I
don't you
seen
remember
a lot.
how quiet it used to be? It wasn't all this craziness.
Yeah,
We would
yeah,
come over
yeah.
here and just enjoy ourselves on that channel and play the little games, and she would talk her little whatever she was talking about, and everything was cool, you know. Then next thing you know, all hell broke loose.
I believe honestly. Uh, from an outsider looking in, she's too trusting. She was too trusting. Um, Everybody's not your fan. Uh, I don't have people around me like that. You know what I can't do it. And she was just bringing I feel too many different energies in her home. Even if you promoting a person, even if it's friends that you think that's your friend, you could think that's your friend, and that's not your friend. That's your enemy. And I will always say to myself, Lord, why she have to have all those women around her like that?
Well, thank goodness she's God showed her what it is, and she got away from a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cause everybody don't mean you no good. And I tell people a lot. That's why I guess I don't really trust nobody because it was always the closest person. It was always the closest person to my mama that would hurt her. It's always the closest person. So I grew up not trusting people. And I know some people be like, well, I have to see a person for themselves and stuff like that. I understand totally what you're saying. I get all of that. I really do. I honestly do. But it's me. I'm not saying it's them. I'm saying it's me. And it was the way I was brought up. I seen a lot of people hurt my mama. And I would tell her things like, Mama, look, this person doing this, that, or the other to you. And she would get so mad at me. She would get so mad at me because I always would end up being right. And she grew to hate that about me. But it was just that I can see it in them. I can see it, like she'll turn her head and I would see these women shooping about her. Uh and she was the type of person she'll give you the shirt off of her back. She would give you the shirt off of her back. And it was always those type
Well, it was
people, those
a gift.
women that would hurt her. They would hurt her, you know,
That's
and
a
she would
gift
get
that you
mad.
had, though.
Yeah.
You're
She
born with
was
that.
I was telling that to somebody, not to cut you off. I was telling that to somebody the other day. I say I've never known sensing things about people because I'm guessing everybody like that, but I never said that it was a gift. Uh, so when people say I have a gift, I kind of look at them because I don't know. I guess I'm from the lower south, and they don't say that here. Like it's a gift. They don't say that. They call it something else, but it's not a gift. I forgot what they call it. It's like five different readers and stuff. And I just always
Oh,
sense things about people.
okay.
And like somebody will come up on me and I'll move backward. And I had this auntie by marriage. Uh, she would ask me certain things. I would see people go to her house and I wasn't paying no mind. I was a child. And somebody told me it was like that them type of people you don't be around. I'm like, I was 5 freaking years old. When I got older and I found out what she was doing, I never went back there until she paid. I never went back there, So when people start saying, "Oh, well, you don't be around them kind of people," and start saying, "Oh, well, I don't go on her platform because she was talking about a certain thing," uh, I totally get that too. I totally get that too. But sometimes you can think that is just something simple that you're going through. But no, somebody done said there and put something on you, you know? And that goes on a lot. That goes on a lot. And I've
Okay.
noticed some people sit here and say, oh, but she doing this. They believe in that. I can tell. I can tell. I can tell. So I just shut up. Erica, I shut up about a lot of things. A lot of my old videos, I just went on
Yeah.
ahead and deleted them. And I just sit back and I
Mm-hmm.
watch. I just sit back and I watch because I'm like this. I don't like to waste my time. If I can tell somebody something, I'll help you before I hurt you.
Right.
I'm not a friendly person. I'm real shy. I'm real shy, a real shy person. But if I see like Eric, look, they got some ants finna crawl on you. I'm not gonna sit there and watch the ants crawl on you and bite you. I'm gonna let you know, hey Erica, they got some ants finna crawl on you. But some people don't look at it like that. They'll tell you, oh, she just, she thinks she
Mm-hmm.
know it all. No, I don't. No, I don't. I just sense things in people, and I'll just back up from them. I don't like people coming in my house. No, 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 no. I don't do that. We're not doing that. Um, I don't go like if I go to my daughter's house right now, I'll sit in her living area and I go to her bathroom. I do not go in none of her rooms. I don't do not go in no other female bedroom or none of that. I don't walk all over people's house. Somebody say, I don't do that neither. I wouldn't even walk in my mama bedroom. I wouldn't walk all
Mm-hmm.
around my mama house.
Yes,
I'll
ma'am.
go and I'll sit either to her dining room table or her living area. If she would ask me to go in her room, then I'll go. Then I'll go. I don't do it, But like
Mm-hmm.
when I found out what my auntie was doing, because if she didn't like you, by the time you got home, something's happening to you. And I found that out later. She'll be like, Cat, because she would call me Cat. And she would say, people would come to her house and she would, they would talk and stuff like that. And I'll be in a living room or whatever. And when a person would leave, she'll call me to her kitchen and she'd be like, Cat, what you think about her? And I'll tell her. And she'll be like, oh, okay, all right. But when I got older and I went back, when me and my older cousin were talking, I would see her playing with cards. I remember her playing with cards, and she would always ask my mama to adopt me. And I asked my mama one day, I said, "Why you never let her adopt adopt me?" And she said, "Because she wanted you to take your gift and use it for evil." And I said, "What?" That was the first time I heard gift. And she told me, she said, you can be used for good and you can be used for evil. And she said she wanted to use you to hurt people. And I was like, well, why would you have me over there? Why would, And she was like, well, April, that's why I never let them adopt you because my auntie, this lady was clearly, now she's an auntie by marriage, she was clearly in like her 60s or 70s. But this woman was wearing stilettos. Me and my one of my cousins from New Jersey was having this conversation a while back, like 2, 3 months ago. And we never met. We met on Facebook and we was having a conversation and I told her, I said, yeah, I remember her wearing stilettos. I remember her being bad. You know, she was bad. This woman was clear. She was an older woman, but she didn't appear older. She looked real young. And I told my cousin, I said, I remember Uncle Carl having a six pack. And this man was in his 90s. I remember him having all his teeth. They had all their teeth. They didn't have false teeth. Uh, they didn't have wrinkles. They aged like really well. And I told her, I said, I remember them not having gray hair. And she told me, she said, you didn't find nothing wrong with that. And I said, now that we talking about it, I see where you're going because they look real young. And she said, wow, she said, so that's why I was like, well, that's why your mama didn't want you to come to Louisiana. And she was like, I have to, she said, when I get off the phone with you, she said, I'm gonna apologize to my mama. She said, because my mama never wanted me to go to Louisiana to visit our side. And I said, that's why, because and everybody in our family, they real scared of her. They was real, look, you can't get them to say her name. They was really scared of this lady. But I wasn't scared of her. And that's why I think like they would kind of like watch me and stuff like that because I was the only person that could freely walk in her house. Nobody else could. Um, and if she would let you in the house, you only could go certain places. You couldn't use a bathroom. You couldn't do certain things in a house and stuff like that. And I was the only relative. That's what I should say that can freely like walk all around her house and stuff. But they this woman was something else. Yeah, Ginger. I don't I don't know Ginger because I'm almost positive. Um, and they don't call it that here. I heard that word before. They don't call it that. Um, here is if you don't have to believe in it. It's she believed in it. And if you have any weakness around you, it can get in, if that makes sense. If your mind's strong enough, you can will certain things to people. And that's what she was doing. Like if she didn't like this person, she wasn't sitting there playing with nothing. She was willing things with her mind to these people. That's why nobody wanted to go around her house, don't speak her name, or none of that. That's why they was real scared of her. But I never, after I found out, because I hadn't, like, from the age of 5 to like 12 years old, I hadn't seen her. And she died when I believe I was like 19. I was 19 when she passed, and I had never went back around there but that one time. And everybody was scared, and they was telling me, you was the only one she would let come in our house, and you was her favorite and this and that and other. And I'm like, look, man, y'all back on up. Leave me alone. I ain't got time for all this and stuff. But children that some people recognize certain things, they'll try to get those children away from you. You hear me? They'll try to get those kids away from their parents. They'll try to take them.
Wow, that's some real stuff. That sounds like TV stuff I've seen before.
Yeah, she was something else. She was really something else. And you know, I actually got into it with somebody behind it. I mean, you can say what you want about me, but you can't take my experience from me. I experienced it, and I just happened. I said it. I said it. I was a child. You know what I'm saying? Just like if somebody, uh, another person has told somebody they enjoyed being M when they was a child. That was a child. How you gonna tell somebody, you know, you enjoyed getting M when you was a child? So when the person said it, I'm like, I was a child. You would have to go to heaven, ask my mama, well, why did you have her around her? It wasn't me. I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Till I got older. And, me and my cousin, which is a little bit older than me, when we start having this conversation, it triggered my mind to go back. And I started remembering how young they look. So have a memory of one of my older cousins. She's in her 60s. And she asked me one day, she said, you remember when they cut down that tree and ain't Monkey Joe in them yard and they had all kind of snakes came out that tree? I said, yeah. I said, I remember that. And so me and my cousin from New Jersey, we was talking about. She said, I heard about that. I said, yeah. I said, that was true. I said, I was over there that day. I remember that they cut down a tree and none but the snakes came out that tree. And she said, so that really happened? I said, yeah. I remember that. I remember that happening. But she was something else, and a lot of stuff uh is from culture too. What they believe in and stuff like that is it's in our culture. Not everybody, believe in it. I don't believe in it, but I done saw what she done did to people. And I saw the price she paid for it also. Uh she had done dried up. She had done dried up and she didn't even look human, She was messed up, but they do it. I recognize a lot of stuff on here. A lot of stuff. It's a lot of
Can
stuff.
y'all hear me? I'm sorry. I had the thing on mute and didn't realize trying not to make so much noise in y'all's ear. Thank you, Narc, for stopping by. Yeah, I've been in here making all kinds of noise. Y'all couldn't hear me, but I was listening to you too, Lake, and that's some serious stuff right there you talking about.
So
Um,
Ginger, do you I'm not gonna say believe but do you disagree what I said about the roots because they don't call it that here, but I heard that name. I've heard, uh like
yeah,
people
we
that's
that's what we
not
call
from
it. I've heard it called that here. I'm pretty sure y'all have a more probably real and deep technical name. I don't even want you to say it on this broadcast, really, because I don't know what it is. But no, we hear that word a lot, roots. So I
Right.
don't know any other words. Yep. But I'm gonna have to end this so I can go ahead and cook. Really get to cooking. But we gonna come back though, and we gonna talk some more about some things.
Yes, girl. See y'all later.
All right, I appreciate you coming up though. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and close out. I'm behind on cooking. I got hungry people looking at me. Y'all have a good one. Thank y'all for joining. And don't forget about these dark empaths. We're gonna go into a little more detail about that. And y'all have a good one. All right.